Let's go into WWE champions.
Sure.
Let's talk about this because this has been a consistent theme with all the detractors. They want to know about your experience with this game. Just a real simple yes or no. Do you currently still play WWE champions?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, you do. Why are you so why are you so hesitant to talk about that or to talk about WWE champions? And we'll start there.
Oh, why am I hesitant to talk about WWE champions? Well, the thing is, I wasn't at first. I did talk about it publicly years ago when the game first came out, very innocently. Talked about playing it casually. That I was a fan of wrestling. This is a game that I played. Over the years, every once in a while, I will casually mention a mobile game I'm playing or whatever. But, it's nothing that I would think that my audience would be super interested in to hear about me. What mobile games I casually will talk about them. That would be like something I would mention on my podcast. Let's talk about I'm playing a new mobile game today or whatever, right? But what's ended up happening is over the years, every little thing that I mention that's not directly related to my content or my business, what I'm doing on stream, somehow gets twisted into something distorted or messed up by my detractors to make me look bad. And this is a prime example of them, in my opinion, and you can disagree, trying to orchestrate something. Well, just one of the many things, because we can go through a lot of the things they've done that have been completely disproven. But this is one of the things that I never went out of my way to disprove because it's stupid. It's ludicrous.
Can I ask you, Phil? Have
Sure.
you ever spent money on this game?
Of course I have, yes.
Have you spent a lot of money on this game?
Good question. What does a lot mean?
Anything over $100 is too much on a mobile game. So
probably when the game first came out, yes, I spent over $100 on it. That was 2017 when it first came out. Trust me, I'm versed on this game now for all the wrong reasons. So yes, in the first year.
Wait, did you just flex on how good you are at the game?
No. I said I'm versed in the game because I have to know about it because they're freaking put me in conspiracies about it and shit. It's ridiculous.
Okay,
I don't want to know about it.
Then,
how much money have you spent in this game? Do you mind saying?
Total, I couldn't tell you. It's definitely total under $1,000 over the years that it's been in operation for sure.
Okay, not over $1,000.
No,
because that's not what people think.
That's correct.
I know that you're some sort of a whale in that game.
Oh, I know. I've seen every. I haven't seen every video. I've heard it all. First, it was like thousands, then it was 10,000, then it was 20, then it was 40. Now it's 100. I think 100,000 supposedly I've spent on this game.
Well, we started talking about it, and you instantly went into just attacking other people. Like we don't have to, like your detractors. Like they may deserve it. I don't know, but we can have this conversation without even bringing them up.
Sure.
Right. We'll bring them up if they're you're saying you're instantly going to they're making up shit. But you do play this game. You have spent money on it. And correct. I think what's happening is when you're begging your audience for money and then complaining that, this King's Feast is too expensive for a $60 meal and you're stressing for money and then putting money into a game that is a mobile game that is, let's face it, mobile games are not necessary in life.
No kidding.
Spending any amount of money on a mobile game. I've never played this WWE. I don't even know. I saw like a picture of it and it looked like Candy Crush or so, I don't know what the hell it is, but it just feels like they feel like you're just using them to like using your audience. And like, I don't want to be used. I personally, I don't like feeling used. I've been used by people in the past and I don't have time for that in my life. So when people are watching someone online and supporting them and then feel used, like when, you say you beg too much and you're working on that, which is good because as I said, it's not a good look, but even talking about, hey, this other game that they believe you're a whale in, why do they think you're a whale? Where are they getting this?
See, here's the thing. I don't exactly know. There's been so much to this thing over the years that, I'm just going to briefly in my head try to go over what I remember. Apparently, at first, it was that there was an account in the game. That's the name of the account was They Call Me DSP. Okay?
Which is also your Twitter handle.
That's correct. And so just by that association, they're assuming that's me in the game. Okay. Now, from what I'm going to understand after that, after I guess at some point it had been asked on a stream or whatever, is this you? And I said, no, that's not me in the game. It is not, by the way. That is not my account in the game.
What is your account in the game?
That I'm not going to say. And if you're going to say why, because back when I signed up for that game in 2017, there had never been any drama around mobile games or anything like that I had been involved in. No one ever asked me the question of what's the name of your account. I have an account name on basically my Apple device that kind of crosses over a lot of different accounts, okay? And if I were to tell you information about my account, these people will absolutely use that to hurt me. They will try to use this data to get into other accounts. They will probably try to commit identity theft, impersonate me with Apple. I can't do that. I've already been through that 2 years ago.
So on the record, you're saying that that account, they call me DSP, is not you.
That's correct.
Okay.
Well,
Now,
okay, but here's the thing that I'm having a hard time wrapping my brain around, right? Because apparently that name was changed later to Down from the Rafters, right? Why would somebody, if this is a troll that is a whale, right, that in this game, why would somebody let's say after this was brought to your attention, the name is later changed, right? And they're spending all this money on this, right? And they know it's being, it's being tracked in this game. Why would they change the name if they're just trolling you with they call me DSP, this name? Why would they then change the name if it's just a troll to begin with? What's the point? I'm trying to wrap my head around this idea here.
Sure. Apparently, there's a couple theories. Theory number one is, like you just said, this person was actually a troll who was trying to make me look bad, and that was the theory until the name changed. But I agree with you. That doesn't seem to make sense, does it? Why would you try to change your name if you weren't, maybe, and again, this is me just guessing. I have no clue because this is not me. Maybe this person was a legit player. Maybe it was a fan of mine. Maybe it was, who knows? Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's complete chance. This is not DarksydePhil. This is not DSP Gaming. This is they call me
Darkside
DSP.
Patrick.
Again, who knows? You're right. I that's the point. It wasn't my name. It wasn't like Phil Burnell or whatever. It was one name that I use on a Twitter account. So maybe this legitimately was someone who was playing the game and over the years was getting like harassed. I don't know. Here's what I can tell you. Since this started happening, all right, I was afraid that my actual account name was going to get out there, and they were, like I just told you guys, they were going to try to like harass me or change, harass my Apple account, hack my Apple account, whatever. I reached
Phil,
out.
I gotta say real quick, if that whoever they call me DSP changed it to whatever the hell they changed it to, why haven't you changed it to some?
That's what I'm about
thing?
to say. That's exactly what I'm about to say. I asked they have the help chat or whatever. I asked them. I said, "Listen, this is happening, and I'm really afraid." And they told me they don't do that. I was like, "What?" Yeah, we don't do that. We don't do name changes. I said, "There's evidence that there is." They wouldn't do it for me. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe this person, because of the level that they've spent supposedly in the game, because they're a whale, maybe the company did them a solid because they keep spending, and so they did it for them. Apparently, you can't just change your name. There's no option in the game to change your name. I've tried. It's not there. And you contact support. They say, we won't do it.
Okay, look, there's a lot here. And look, I'm of the mindset of once somebody gives you money, you can do what you want with the money. But
True.
I think that we're here to put all the cards on the table here and work through these things. So when you play this game and you have this whale that has the exact same Twitter handle that you have, that is pulling this elaborate troll on you, right?
If that's what it was, I don't know.
Right. But, and I hate to bring this up, but I'm going to, because I feel like it needs to be addressed.
Go for it.
People have been very aggressive with you to the point to where they have leaked bank statements from you, right? And that's obviously not cool at all. It's ridiculous that somebody would go to that length, and it's honestly upsetting, but it's out there, right? And there have been, according to these leaks, there have been dozens, hundreds of transactions to the Apple Store. Some many over hundreds of dollars that had been there. Were those your transactions?
No.
So those were not tied to you at all.
No. Okay, the bank leaks. Now we have to get into the identity theft thing, okay?
Well, let's just talk about the bank leaks first.
Well, they're tied to that.
Okay.
You know what I mean, like they go hand in hand. Those bank
Go ahead,
leaks.
explain it then. Yeah.
Sure, the bank leaks are not accurate. That is not my account.
So it's the person who took your identity was spending money on in the Apple Store?
No, that's not my account at all. Whatever that is not me. That's fabricated. Or it's someone else's account. I don't know whose, but that's not my account that was leaked. I've had a lot of issues that happened with identity theft that same summer, but they use that to run with some kind of this crazy conspiracy theory and say that was me, and it's not.
So you're saying, just so we're on the same page, you're saying that this account that is not yours, that had thousands of dollars of fees to the Apple Store consistently, that are these amounts just happen to tie to exact amounts in the game that we're talking about, WWE Champions, and it's a game that you also play. Just so we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
You're saying that is not your account at all, and they were unsuccessful in hacking your bank account.
They did not hack my bank account. They did not have access to my bank account.
It seems awfully convenient.
And
Right.
just
It
right.
does sound awfully convenient, but that's the truth.
You can understand how us looking from the outside in looks at this and raises an eyebrow and doesn't quite buy it, right?
To me, I mean, from an outside perspective, who doesn't know anything, would look like you had to go and file for bankruptcy. You had all these issues and people calling you out for spending way too much money on this game when you should have been saving for taxes. And then, this shit comes out and you're like, you're freaking sweating. You got to freaking do something about it. It's like, oh, I was hacked. That identity theft. Like maybe the identity theft happened. I'm just like painting a picture for like these people on the internet that hate you and are trying to convince the world of what happened. And then, like Craig said, I mean, you are playing it. It is your username. There are all these bank statements that actually correlate perfectly with this game. I'm leaning more towards that side of the story because it makes more sense. I mean, you needed an out. You have money issues and have had money issues for a while, and it's just like. It's hard to believe, dude.
The reason that this story has not died out like every other one is because this is the one that I really don't have a way to prove my innocence without further exposing myself. You understand?
Do you have a police report for the
a police
identity
report?
You don't.
Oh,
you
no.
can redact certain things.
I did not. I don't have a police report. Geez, how do I?
Did you not go to the police when your identity was hacked?
No,
taken?
I went to all my financial institutions. I went to the credit bureaus.
You didn't go to the
notified them.
police though when someone was stealing your identity. Why wouldn't you do that?
I didn't even think to do it. I don't think. What would they do about it?
Try to fucking get the person and arrest them for stealing your identity.
I mean, I guess maybe, but here, okay. I guess what I got to do is tell you a little bit more about all the crap I've been through. I have contacted the police about the harassment. No, listen, I have contacted the police about harassment over the years. When I got swatted, years later, when someone was actually doing tons of fake transactions against my PayPal account that were all fraud. They were actually fraudulent credit card transactions. I contacted our police here, and I had a big conversation, and they said, listen, I swear to God, this is the conversation. We don't do that. We don't have an online task force for this stuff. They said the only thing we deal with is human trafficking. That's it. That's all we can do. Here's the number to the FBI if you want to call them. But unless you're talking about ginormous sums of money being tossed
So
around,
you did contact them or you didn't?
Not about identity theft. I contacted them years earlier about other issues.
And you talked to them about identity theft?
I talked to them about a lot of different things that had happened or could happen. And they
But
basically
why
told
would
me-
you have talked to them about identity theft years earlier if none of that was even happening to you?
Well, I don't know if we specifically said, oh, identity theft. What like I said, there was a case where, first of all, I received death threats, like pretty serious death threats. Someone saying they're gonna come to my
Okay.
house and murder me with a gun.
Well, that's
And
a
I-
completely different subject.
Correct.
Right.
And I contacted them about that. And while I was talking to them, I also brought up PayPal issues that I was having with fraudulent transactions and other things. And they basically said, we don't handle that. We can't. We don't have the capacity. Local PD doesn't care. You have to go, if you want to go to the FBI, but they even said, here's the number. If you ever get into something really bad, you're afraid for your life or something, call us 911. Outside of that, anything else, it's, big transactions or whatever, like you lose $1 million, you call the FBI. That's it. So I didn't think, I didn't file a police report about the identity theft because I didn't think they could do anything. They told me years previous nothing's going to happen about it.
Well,
Well,
it didn't
so
seem
what-
like you were talking about identity theft with them. So
Well, so
Anyway.
let me ask this, right? You addressed the bank leaks on a stream.
Mhm.
Why? If they're not yours, why?
I
Why did
just-
you why did you feel the need to talk about the bank leaks if they weren't yours?
Well, what do you mean by that? Like, are you referencing a specific stream that I did? Or
Just
a
in general. I
situation?
mean, if somebody hacks an account and they say this is DarksydePhil's bank account, right? Why don't you say, well, it's not mine? What are you even talking about? And like,
I
think that,
did.
okay,
I'm sure that I did. I've never said that was my account.
then how come, and this is, the internet doing what it does, there's been matchmaking based off of your life, going to restaurants, big events in WWE champions, things like that line up perfectly with this bank account. Like, and I think I said, it's your money, dude. You can do what you want. I don't care. But why, if we were in the court of law and somebody was to bring all this evidence in front of, say, like, look, hey, there's a bullet here. Here's the gun that he used. It has his fingerprints on it. This person is dead because this person pulled the trigger, and the other guy's like, no, I didn't do it. Well, like, there's clear DNA there, and like, I think that's the thing that I'm really struggling with here, man. Is it just seems like if you would just say, yeah, it was my bank account. It was really fucked up. It aligned with all these things. By the way, I play WWE champions. I have a hard time quitting it. Those games are addictive. And you just kind of said, yeah, these things are accurate. I think people would just be like, okay, and they'd be cool with it. But it just seems like you keep digging and digging and digging. And I mean, walk me through this, because there's just evidence here, like mounds and mounds of evidence. And that
right,
say
you claim that it was someone else, but
And-
why
and-
do a lot of the things on the bank statement actually correlate to things that you actually did and paid for?
right, and the only evidence
provable.
that you're putting out is, well, no, it's not, or that's a lie. And just walk me through this, man, because this is the whole purpose of this thing was not to make you look bad at all. But I just want to walk through this here, man, because it doesn't make sense. This doesn't add up.
What specifically, like you said a couple things there. First, you said big events in the game correlate to money being spent on the account.
No, I don't think he meant in the game. I think he meant in life.
Well, in life and in the game, apparently there's like special events that happen in the game, and it's a certain character's released or whatever. I don't know enough about the game, right? I didn't do a deep dive into the game. Just there are special events that happen. Hey, it's like you see this on any game, Call of Duty, Apex. For this time only, you can buy this character or whatever. That's all. I'm just trying to walk through this, man.
But here's the thing. I don't know specifically what you're referencing. I guess what you're saying is there's transactions on that account that correlate. That's something that's been proven that I spent money on. How would that even be proven? What does that mean?
Well, I mean, maybe you went to a restaurant and you said, hey, I'm going to go to dinner tonight. And then there's a transaction at a local restaurant for an amount that may add up to a couple people dining at a restaurant. You know what I mean? That's all. Like I said, I'm just trying to walk through this.
Yeah, I don't know. That sounds. I mean,
nothing.
first of all, from your perspective, if I were sitting where you were right now and hearing this story, I'd be like, he's probably lying. I don't know how to defend. Again, I don't know how to defend myself without putting myself and my family at personal risk, and that's the problem. I don't know how
that's fair.
how that lines up. I
That-
wish
that- that's
I
very
wish I
fair.
knew. I wish I knew I could explain those transactions. Here's, I guess, man, I'm trying to figure out how I can tell you from my perspective what really happened that summer. And
Well,
why? Because
I'll tell you. Here's something very easy, very simple,
Mm-hmm.
very simple. You have my email, and this is a small ask. It's also a big ask. You can say whatever you want. Will you? And you can say no, and I'm totally fine with this. But just confidentially between us, will you send me a screenshot of your account, of your WWE account, and just so I personally, I will not share your name to anybody, but just between us.
Man, I have to think about
And
what
vouch for
risk
you.
that would put out.
Yeah, and I will vouch for you either way.
I have to think about what kind of risk that. I don't want to say. Here's the thing, I'll consider it, but I can't agree to it yet. I have to see what's the risk, you know. And I not say that I think you would do anything with it. I don't.
I think you got to look at what's to benefit more than what's to risk.
You have no idea the levels, how this has gone. Again, accounts that
I
have
do.
happened.
I see it. I'm well aware. I have chat up. I mean, I know. I mean, people have been tagging me relentlessly since it was announced that you were coming on the show, and I didn't know who you were. I had never heard of you before. Before this moment when Craig was like, "Hey, so do you know who DSP is?" And I'm like, "No. What's the deal?" And everyone's like, "Oh, we got to freaking tell Adam who DSP is." You know, it's like I see the amount of attention that you get in a negative light, right? So like I understand. That's why I'm like I kind of understand that you don't want to be too forthcoming with your any more information that isn't public already, because as there's a lot out there. So, you know, but you're in a pickle, man, because the internet is a fucking pulse, and it's a new brain that humans are still learning how to adapt to. And right now there's a big chunk of the internet that has a target on your head. And you know, you've said it multiple times that you fucked up. You held your hands up. You said, I didn't handle this right. I fucked up multiple times. You did this and that. So it's like, if you want to remain on the internet, which you seem to enjoy streaming, you like what you're doing now, which is good. I'm glad you like what you're doing. But it's like, if you want to move in a direction that's going to alleviate some of these haters, anything might help. Obviously not giving them more ammo, which I mean, I've grown to trust Craig. Of course, you know, don't tell him I said that. But you know, I think that would actually do more for you than you think. If Craig came out and was like, all right, guys, he sent me the proof, and I can confirm to everyone that his account is not, they call me DSP, the whale account. You know, like
or the other name, Down from the Rafters,
or what it changed it to. Yeah.
Right.
Like almost at this point now, it's like it's almost suspect that you're not wanting to just do whatever you can.
Yeah. Again, I hear you. If I was sitting in your position right now, I would feel exactly the same way. But just the levels of shit that I've been through, and people who betrayed me. Not that I'm saying Craig would. I don't think he would. But every time
I have no interest. Phil, I want to be really clear with you, man. And just like this, we were talking about this. I have zero interest in making you look bad. Like I think there's a tremendous opportunity here for you to be humanized to a lot of people who don't see you as human, you know, and to err is to be human, right? That's the old saying. Like everybody fucks up, and you've owned up to a lot of those things. But there are certain things here, man, that I just, you know, they don't add up. And you're saying, hey, if I was in your shoes, I'd be saying the same thing. It doesn't. I don't know, man. It's not connecting. It's not connecting. And I'm trying to help you out here, man. I really am. And
I hear you.
And so
I feel like there's
help yourself.
Watch the full 5-hour DarksydePhil interview and hit the subscribe button in the center of your screen to never miss a live episode of Side Scrollers Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Time.